All right. So as we finished up yesterday, we mentioned briefly just the Monroe Doctrine, and a lot of people wonder why the U.S. waited so long to get involved, being that we were part of the Allies. Um, and the reason for that is something called the Monroe Doctrine. And so the Monroe Doctrine was a document that James Monroe came up with. And basically, what this document said is that as long as the war had not reached the United States, or at least the waters approaching the United States, that we would not get involved, and that essentially it was a European problem at the time. And so one of the political cartoons that came out at the time was this one pictured here. And so if you see the Earth, and you see this wall that wraps around called the Monroe Doctrine right down the middle, and then you have the rest of the world that's kind of on fire. And so that was a lot of people's interpretation, is that we're just watching the other half of the world burn down. You have to remember at this time that there wasn't social media. There's not news. There's word travels very slowly. So the interpretation of what's going on overseas is just unknown. And so a lot of people thought we were kind of just leaving the rest of the world to burn. And so when we talk about what was like the final tipping point where the U.S. got involved, one, we talk about blockades. So Great Britain's going to block some German ships that were attempting to go to the U.S. So Germany announces its intention to start blowing up British ships going to the U.S. And so obviously this is going to start to make things a little uncomfortable. Still, we're staying uninvolved, but then the final domino, the sinking of the Lusitania. And so the Lusitania was a British ship. It had just about 2,000 people on board, including 128 Americans. And so Germany sinks this ship, and it goes down very quickly. It sinks in less than 18 minutes. It was traveling from New York, and it was headed to Liverpool. And so it sunk right off the coast of Ireland. And this is kind of that final tipping point. We have a little message in a bottle here that washed up on shore. It says Lusitania, May 7, 1915, have been torpedoed, send help. Obviously, that wouldn't make it to shore in time. Like I said, it sunk in just about 18 minutes, so it's pretty crazy. I'm going to post this PowerPoint for you guys. Please watch this video. This shows and talks about the Lusitania and that whole situation. The third reason the U.S. gets involved finally, in 1917, Germany announces unlimited submarine warfare in the war zone. And so essentially what this means is they're just going to start sinking ships. And so President Wilson's going to warn Germany that if they continue to do this, we're going to get involved. And so Germany kind of backs off there for a little bit. But then we have the Zimmerman telegram, which is going to be the absolute final tipping point. And what that is it's a document that the British intelligence intercepts. And so back in the day, you had the telegrams that were sent, and long wires ran overseas so that countries could communicate. It's kind of crazy. But Germany is sending a message to Mexico, and the British are going to intercept that. And so essentially what this document says is that if Mexico would attack the U.S. With the help of Germany, once they won the war, Mexico would have Texas, New Mexico, and Arizona. And this is kind of what it looked like. And I'm going to post an activity for you guys to break a code. Once again, a video that talks about that whole situation with the Zimmerman telegram. Definitely encourage you to watch that. So immediately following that, U.S. is going to declare war, and we're going to get involved. And so we will talk more about the events after the United States gets involved. But have a good day, guys.